Since last time we spoke, you have been, as the kids would say, cooking. There's been a lot in the works. There's been a lot that you've kind of been setting up for the next show. Let's do a little bit precursor though. The last show that I went to for yours was the
Lordzilla.
Yeah, but who else was fighting on that? There was Ty Prackett was fighting. There
Trey
was
Lewis.
Trey Lewis and Ty and Trey both got finishes. Trey's fight was fucking bananas. I mean, back and forth. You even gave, I think you told me, like, you gave that guy like a little bit of a bonus just for like being in there and fucking hanging in. And Ty looked like an absolute killer. I know that last time we spoke with Lordzilla, like not on the podcast, but like at your house and everything, when he was talking and everything, and you were telling me about how Lordzilla was sparring with Ty, and even he was like looking at you like, this kid's legit. So before we even talk about actually the things that you got cooking up for the promotion, I do want to talk about your like the gym.
Okay.
Like what you're doing with producing these fighters, fostering them and all these things. How good does it feel to start seeing some of the fruits of your labor and producing killers, man?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because when I first started really coaching fighters during COVID, and most coaches are going to tell you this, they have that imposter syndrome. And I definitely had that. And so now to kind of go from there to having the confidence that I do have now, it's pretty crazy and pretty cool. And I don't know how I'm developing these guys like this. I think it's a little bit of I'm getting some really good athletes in, but also I pay a lot of attention to details. I'm always learning. I try to be the coach that I wish I had when I was coming up. And I also let them do a lot of searching on their own too, because I think that's what made me a good fighter is I had to figure a lot of stuff out on my own, not, you're getting handed everything too. But we just have a lot of really exciting times. And as my fighters get better, everyone else in the gym gets better. So as I send more guys to Thailand, they come back with new tools. I learn from them. Other people learn from them. And we keep getting better and getting better. But I think it's just a big part of it's my ability to continue learning.
Yeah, I would say that you guys are doing of all the gyms that I've seen, you guys are probably doing the most in terms of investment of that skill set, considering like how many of your guys travel overseas, how many of them are going to Thailand. I mean, Ty Prackett went over there for what, a couple months, had a couple fights,
Yep.
more than a couple fights actually. Fucking killer, comes back. I'm sure that just increases the stock of everybody because when he comes back, he's like, hey, I learned X, Y, and Z over here. Let me show it to you guys. And then it proliferates
Yep.
across the gym. So even the guys that didn't go to Thailand are still benefiting from the guys that did.
Yeah, and the biggest thing Ty Prackett came with last time he came back from Thailand was he was training with Raj Madurum, which is RWS stadium champion, Petchzilla. And he realized, I can hang with these guys. Like, I've got this level. So, like, the biggest thing he came back last time was the confidence because he remembers the first time he went there and how he's getting his ass beat. And now he's keeping up with these guys. Now he's stronger. Now he's beating them in the exchanges and things like that.
He's also young, too. So
yeah,
I'm
he's
like,
21.
Yeah, he was probably like, what, sub 20?
Yeah.
Last time he went there. That's the factor, right? Is like, I don't know about you, but it wasn't until I was like around like 25, 26 where I was like, okay, like this is my body, this is my strength. Like I'm not gonna grow any taller. I'm not gonna like, with exception to like lifting weights or whatever. Like I'm not gonna get more massive or anything. I was kind of like, puberty was kind of done. Like this is my body now, and I remember just feeling like unstoppable at that age. And when I was 21, 22, 23, yeah, you feel the youth, the vigor, and all these other things, but you're still kind of progressing. Like your body's still changing. For me, it was around 25, 26 where I was like, okay, like now I'm hitting my quote unquote man strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the advantage of being young too is like you're kind of dumb. Like you don't like you like don't like overthink
Kind of.
things. So like for instance, I was a firefighter when I was 18 until I was like 25.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a volunteer. Then I worked for like the racetrack and stuff like that. That Gateway International, and but you couldn't pay me to do that now. I'm like, you want me to go in and building and rescue some? No, I'm good. Like I'm good. I got too much stuff I like now. But when I was young, I didn't care. So like, yeah.
Run into a burning building.
Yeah, like back then I was like, come on, give me a fire. But now I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah, so I think there's like a little bit
It's
of
funny how
advantage
having kids will change you.
Yeah, no, I was even before kids. I was like, no, I'm good. But I think just being young too also kind of gives you that advantage too of like not giving a shit a little bit.
You also have the multiple locations, though, which is like an additional factor. The majority of the gym owners I know, I think actually Wolves Den just opened up their second location, and JP runs that. But I think you've had 2 locations now for a good chunk of time.
Yeah,
haven't
3 years
you?
now. And I had 2 locations before. I had one out and 2 back in Illinois. And my lease ran out, and I was like, this ain't.
We'll condense it down to one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you expanded after that again.
Yeah, yeah. So then we moved back to Missouri again, and I'm looking to do a third one still.
No shit.
Yeah, Muay Thai is just so big right now, and it's getting bigger, and I think it's. Do I ever think it's going to overtake MMA here in America? I don't know, because the UFC is just so big. Could it? Maybe like 10 years down the road. Who knows?
I think there's always potentials for everything.
I think Muay Thai is just still growing. And my data for that is like I see a lot of gyms that like I know are not run properly. I'm not saying around here, I'm just in general. And they're full. And I'm like, okay, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And they're like full. Like, that guy sucks anyways, too. So that's kind of like my my data
test.
for that. Yeah. But I think so. Like I kind of want to open up another one because one, I got my promotions. We're going to do like 7 to 8 shows next year, so I need more talent. I need more fighters, but also like I want to keep spreading Muay Thai. Like I want to keep doing it, and I want to do it the right way because I'm very invested in preserving the culture of Muay Thai and the authenticity of Muay Thai. It's not just like throwing punches and elbows to me. There's reasons you do certain things and to teach the traditional scoring and all that. So
no, your passion for the sport is like without question. It's actually one of the, in my opinion, one of your more endearing qualities. Is because you do have the promotion, you do have the you have the businesses, right? The fight promotion is a business. The gym at the end of the day is a business. But then whenever anybody talks to you, the fervency in which you speak about the sport, it is what I see is like the fire under you. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you actually like this. You love this. You want to see it grow. Like, obviously, if it grows, it means more money for you. It means more ability to do more things. And we're going to talk about the promotion and how it's growing. But it's like circular logic. Like, the gyms produce the fighters. So you have a passion in creating fighters. And then the fighters need that outlet to perform, to actually compete. So you create the promotion. It's like, okay, well, the more fighters I create, the more options we'll have for the promotion. The better the promotion does, the more it'll attract people to train Muay Thai because they go to a Muay Thai show and they see it and all that. It was actually what was happening. What I see you doing right now is very reminiscent to like MMA was doing 15 years ago when I first started. And that was like, there was just buzz about MMA to the point now where I think that has actually plateaued for MMA. But I am seeing that buzz now for all the other martial arts. Like there's buzz for jiu-jitsu.
Are you saying
there's buzz for Muay Thai?
Are you saying it plateaued here? Or are you saying like
the market here insane? Well, I think to the point with the UFC, I think the Conor era, the Ronda era, they really propelled the sport into like mainstream consciousness. Like my dad started asking me about fights. I'm like, dude, you never cared about any of this stuff. You know what I mean? And then I don't know what happened after that. Like there was a moment there where like the UFC and MMA was really growing and then it plateaued. And I actually think now it's regressing. Like I genuinely think it's regressing.
Do you think it's because UFC has fights every weekend?
I think
like
the streaming deal
hard to keep up. And...
I think that. I think the amount, volume, number one. And then number two, I actually think the streaming deal hurts MMA. Because no longer is it like a spectacle.
Yeah, I remember like a big fight would be like, oh my God, we got to get together, go to the fight. Everyone's going to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Now it's just...
Or you go to somebody's house and like, for us, like we went to a gym, right? Yeah. So like, it would be like 20 people in one house. We'd have beers, we'd have pizza, whatever. It was like every UFC that we went to, like every 2-3 weeks or whatever, whenever the pay-per-view was like an event. It was something to culminate. It was exciting. We would be talking about it. Oh, so-and-so was going to fight. Now, dude, I'll forget that there's a UFC on. I'm like, oh, that's right. And then I'll see like on social media, like so-and-so fought. For instance, like yesterday, the only reason I tuned in was Jackson McVeigh was fighting. So like, if there was not a local guy,
I didn't even know he was fighting. Yeah. I'm friends with him.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy.
It's too much. It's too much. But the problem is too, is like, if you cut back on the volume, then that makes less opportunities for these guys to fight. So it's like, I don't necessarily want to say like, don't have that many shows because then, you know, you sign less fighters, all these other things. But I think what you need to do is like, put the machine back to building the fighter. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's because the UFC is no longer in the business of producing stars.
Yeah.
So I'm not invested in anyone unless I know them personally. The last one that they did that was like a spectacle was the White House card. And I'll be honest with you, that was fucking phenomenal.
That was great.
That was phenomenal. So like, I don't want to sound like sour grapes or anything like that. But the problem is like, you can have little pieces where you're peaking, but the trajectory is still like, down and to the right kind of thing. So I don't know. I see that there's a lot of talk about jiu-jitsu. There's a lot of talk about Muay Thai and boxing again.
See, I'm kind of opposite about jiu-jitsu. It kind of reminds me of CrossFit. So if you
You think
remember
it's a fad?
CrossFit, no, CrossFit though, there were open gyms everywhere. I
Mhm.
mean, every town would have 3 or 4 CrossFit gyms. Now there's like one. Kind of jiu-jitsu, like every town almost has, like Collinsville now has like 3 jiu-jitsu gyms. There's 24,000 people there. We don't need 3 jiu-jitsu gyms there.
Yeah, I mean, but then the economics of that will solve itself over the
Exactly.
course of time.
But it's been growing at big boom, and eventually it's gonna start going down again, just like CrossFit has. And
I think jiu-jitsu is the new karate for sure.
yeah,
Like when I remember back in like the late 90s, like you'd go to like any strip mall, there's like some Kempo karate place.
exactly.
Now it's like a jiu-jitsu gym for sure. But I'll also say that I think out of all the martial arts, I do believe that jiu-jitsu is the easiest for people to get into because it's not it's not impact. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like if you're 50 years old and you can roll with some 50-year-old and like get the moves down and feel like you're progressing and actually learn a skill set in a way that like it's a little difficult for like boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai because I hate to say it, it's just less impact. Yeah. Um, I don't disagree with you though. I think jujitsu has become super commercial, while simultaneously I think jujitsu is also hitting its stride in terms of like mainstream. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, the UFC now, say what you want about them, but and this is how I know they know the same thing because whenever I talk to fighters, they're like, "Oh, Arion, you're sour grapes." I'm like, "You want to know how I know MMA is like not dying but regressing? The UFC is branching out. They're doing Zuffa boxing. They're doing UFC BJJ. They're doing slap.
Yeah.
They're doing everything they can instead of like trying to grow MMA because I think they see the numbers that we don't see and they know where all the markets are at and like they see what they're tapping and what they're not." And I think they know that they've plateaued. And then the only thing that they can do now is produce stars, but they don't want to because then stars cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they have more power, negotiating, all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Connor was talking about getting equity stake when they sold the
Yeah.
first time. And then they were like, brother, you're wild. Yeah, I'm not giving you equity. I don't know. I don't want to sound like sour grapes. Some people will listen to this and be like, oh, Arion, that's MMA's never been bigger. I'll tell you this right now. Like St. Louis, MMA is like hanging on. I know we got Shamrock, we got NFA, but we were talking off the record. I have no idea who's fighting in the next NFA. I have no idea who's fighting in the next Shamrock. And it's not anything to do with like the promotions. I mean, they're going to do the best job they can. They're going to do whatever they can with what they got, but it's just like, I don't know. There's just not that same buzz.
Yeah.
And then you'll have your show, and I'm an MMA guy. The majority of my people are MMA people, yet I see more talk about your shows coming up than I do the MMA shows. That's how I know.
Yeah, and part of it's, I'm trying to build these fighters up. I haven't hit, so this next fight coming up October 3rd, I haven't hit that part of my marketing yet. So once we're a month out, I'll start kind of telling the fighter stories, but I feel like that's lost a lot of the times. I think, UFC does a great job with the UFC embedded and things like that, but my thing is I'm trying to get the sport to grow. How do I do that? I have to market the event, right? So we have this whole new marketing campaign coming out because I used to like market Muay Thai. Well, guess what, Chad? Not everyone gives a shit about Muay Thai like you. So I'm trying to market the event, right? Beer, party, fun, the lights, the action, the knockouts. So that's the kind of the approach we're taking this time. And I think that's just what we have to do to kind of grow the sport. And I was talking to Liam Harrison, who was in town the last couple days for seminars at my gym, and he has a promotion too. And we were just talking about growing the sport. And, can it get bigger than UFC? Probably not anytime soon, possibly. But the way I think we could do it is by bringing in big names. Like get some UFC fighters to fight Muay Thai, put them against some of the top Thais, and kind of like bare knuckles done, but they've kind of getting like the washed up guys. I think that's like the way I can really grow Muay Thai.
I think
here.
it's tough though because a lot of these contracts and stuff like that, the non-competes are so excessive in MMA. It's the problem with like the Ali Act not being extended to MMA creates like silos in MMA. You'll never get a PFL champion fighting a UFC champion.
Yeah.
And that honestly hurts the sport as well. In a way that like you now, especially in boxing, you're seeing a lot of co-promotions all the time now with the Middle East getting involved as well.
But imagine if I got a really big sponsor and Alex Pereira to fight Muay Thai versus, one of these Russian Muay Thai guys from One. I forgot the heavyweight's name. The dude's a monster though. But imagine we got like a matchup like that.
Dude,
What
Lordzilla
it
was
could do.
amazing. That was an
Yeah,
amazing catch.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Your last show was one of the better shows I've ever seen ever live. You know what I mean? And to think that you put that together for like the quote unquote local crowd is kind of insane.
yeah.
I don't think people realize like having someone like you that is taking the risk, that is doing all that effort, that is producing the fighters and producing the avenue for them to compete. They're lucky. They are very lucky that you're here, that you're doing this, because before you, I don't think there was Muay Thai in St. Louis,
No,
like a
there'd be
whole
a
lot of
couple
Muay Thai
one-off,
shows.
yeah. Like this next show, it's all Muay Thai. It's the first ever all Muay Thai show in
No
Missouri.
kickboxing, no
No
K1,
kickboxing.
no.
Nope, all Muay Thai.
How many fights are you thinking about?
16, 17.
That's a good
Yeah,
card.
yeah. So we have 6 pro fights scheduled right now. Might add a 7th pro fight. I'm working with some a little bit bigger name Muay Thai guys, trying to bring them out here, and we're having some high level amateur fighters coming out from like Portland, Oregon, versus a guy from Nashville. Just trying to bring some really high level amateurs who are pretty much pros. They have over like 30 fights each. Yeah, we're just trying to bring out some of this really good talent, and having the FairTex name now tied to us is a big deal.
Let's talk about that, because I don't know if I fully understand like what that entails, what that encompasses. But before we do that, how did you even get to that point? Like, how did you and FairTex even? Did you reach out to them?
So your network is your net worth. I always heard that, and it's true every time. Just being in the community of Muay Thai people, you start to meet people. We had Stamp FairTex here. I met her manager. Really nice lady. Her name's O. And we just got along real good. She saw how much I love the Thai culture and Muay Thai, and she saw my show. She's actually friends with Lordzilla, so she knew, through him that I was a good person and trustworthy. And she's also the managing director at FairTex. So they were looking to come to the USA. We happened to meet, get along really well, and we just started talking that way. And over a couple months, we started working a deal, and here we are.
Was it before the Lordzilla fight or after?
After.
So you had him on the show because of that. Well, you had a relationship with him beforehand, but you had him on the show, and I think that probably, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of put your name on the map, right?
Yeah,
like,
for sure. I mean, yeah.
Legitimize you in a way that you weren't before.
Yeah, because we were just a local show before. Like I always say, like we're the best in Midwest. And now, after Lordzilla's show and now getting the FairTex name, like we're the top pro show in America. Like hands down. Like there's no one else. Like Line Fight's gone. There's another promotion called Coalition down in Texas. One of my buddies is the matchmaker for. But right now, after this show, we're going to be the #1 show in America that everyone's going to be on, because we have the access to ONE FC. So the owner of FairTex, his name's Mr. Wong. Well, his son is named Prim. So Prim is getting ready to take over FairTex. So his dad's like 82, 83 years old. So Prim, who started FairTex Fight, who I work with, he was also the managing director of ONE FC. So he would actually produce One does like a weekly show every Friday. He was putting those shows on, essentially. And he also put on the FairTex Fight shows. Well, he just stepped down from the ONE FC deal because he's getting ready to take over FairTex all the way, but he still has the connections at One.
Yeah.
Right? So, with this card, we're able to promote people to One after this. So, like, the winner of the Thai bracket, Christian Rodriguez fight, is going to be in One next. So
Amazing.
yeah, so we're having those avenues, but like our goal is to become the ONE FC of the West, right? Because One's not coming back to America. They messed up when they came here. They canceled like 2 shows, and they just don't have the logistics to bring their show from Asia all the way over here and be profitable. Where if we can set up our show, we know how to work all the commissions. We have different matchmakers all around the country, because eventually that's what we're going to do with FairTex Fight. We're starting here in America, and we're going to start spreading out and doing shows all over, Chicago, Nashville, California, Florida, places that we can go in and do good.
So is that what this is going to be now? Forgive me, because like I did see some promotional material. Is stand-up fight series done, and now it's like FairTex Fight?
No.
How is this going to work?
Yeah,
Sorry.
so stand-up fight series is kind of like my feeder into the FairTex Fight. It's like an amateur show.
Okay.
We might have like 1, maybe 2 pro fights. So essentially how stand-up fight series was. We usually have 1 or 2 pro fights. I don't think I've ever even had 3. I think it's either been 1 or 2 each time. So mostly going to be an amateur show, just to kind of get people fights. Because right now, like to fight, like we just had to send a girl to Pensacola, Florida, or next week I'm taking, I think 12 or 13 fighters to Indianapolis for a tournament.
Jesus, 12 or 13?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So we would have more, but they all didn't get matched up. And so if we have a show here that I can like locally put our guys on and build them up and just get some opportunities so I don't have to travel with 2 little kids. It's a pain. Yeah.
So, and then you'll have the FairTex Fight, which I guess is now like a separate entity that you're managing.
Yep. So it's separate, and that's going to be our pro show. So every show is going to have 6 or 7 pro fights. And so like right now, like we signed a deal with FairTex like 7 weeks out from the fights because corporate, it takes forever.
Of course.
Yeah. So I'm learning that. And, but yeah, so we got the deal done. So it's been kind of really quick with everything. But I was trying to get big sponsors. So that's what we're looking for now is big sponsors besides FairTex.
When you say big sponsors, do you mean like monetary or do you mean name? Or both?
Both,
Okay.
yeah. Because my idea is if we get a big sponsor, let's say First Form comes on, right? And we build FairTex Fight, it gets bigger and bigger. It's like right now, like for instance, our YouTube channel has like 80,000 followers, right? So as we do this USA show, it's going to keep getting bigger because I want to do it for free on YouTube.
Ultimately.
Yeah, because numbers. I want numbers. I want 100,000 viewers on there because now I go to sponsor. Hey, we had 100,000 live viewers. Why wouldn't they want to sponsor us, right? That's my goal is like to grow the sponsor with us. So like Red Bull's done with Action Sports. It's Action Sports. You think Red Bull. Muay Thai fights. You think First Form, or you think Monster, or you think whoever decides to come on and do it. That's kind of my goal with the sponsor is not just be a name, but also like kind of like a invested partner. And I'm learning through this. There's a certain way you have to talk to these sponsors because I was like messaging all these sponsors like, yeah, we got the FairTex name, but like no one knows FairTex besides like unless you're like they're combat.
Into my yeah.
And so like I'm messaging people and like no one's answering. I'm like, what the hell? So I had a meeting at a new venue in Illinois, which all right, I'm gonna drop this.
Sure.
Okay. It's not officially official. It's penciled in official. We still got to sign some stuff, but what did I say? January 16th, we're going to do stand-up fight series at Pop's Nightclub in Illinois. So I'm really excited about that because it's going to be like a double venue. We're going to do the fights, and then immediately after, we're going to do a concert.
Oh, really?
So like we're looking at like Saliva to come in. They sing Click Click Boom. So it's going to be really cool atmosphere. I was actually asking my buddy, I was like, hey man, the show's at Pops, it's on the Illinois side. People in Missouri, like for some reason think you can't cross the river. And I know my wife thought that. I was like, do you think, we'll be good? He was like, dude, you're selling fighting in between 2 strip clubs. You're going to sell out. I'm like, okay, you're true. Yeah, you're right.
You're also doing an after party.
Yeah. And we're doing an after party and after concert. And, but one thing I learned through the meeting with them as I was talking to them, I was like, hey, how do I talk to, like a tour manager to get them to come and perform? He goes, well, you got to talk ball. Like if you send them a message and they're like, oh, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, they're not even going to read your email. But if you send them your tech pack, you say, hey, are you routing? Are you using certain, like you got to use certain words in there so they know, what you're talking about. So you're not wasting their time because they probably get a lot of emails of, bullshit, idiots like, I'm a big fan, come play in my house. And like, and that's when it clicked. I was like, oh shit, I don't know how to talk ball for sponsorships. So I actually just hired some guy. He's out of the East Coast. He went to Harvard, and that's what he does. He
sales rep.
He finds sponsorships for sports events and things like that. So for instance, he just grew the U.S. fencing team from $0 in their bank account to $850,000 in their bank account.
The U.S. fencing team.
Yes, the Olympic team.
God bless.
Yeah, so he's working on sponsorship stuff now. So hopefully that works out, and we can get someone for this show. Because if he does, I'm putting that right back in. I'm not putting money in my pockets. It's going right back into the show to produce it, get it bigger, get it better, get more talent in, things like that. So we have a lot of cool things like that. That was like a cool little lesson I learned. I was like, just from a meeting at Pops, so I thought that was kind of cool.
It's interesting to hear you speak about. There was a lot of interesting things in that piece. I want to dissect it into 3 questions. Number 1, when you were talking about like you want to do this for free on YouTube to get the eyeballs? Is that because that'll inevitably be an easier sell to sponsors?
Exactly.
It's one thing to say, hey, we're going to have this gate, we're going to sell 1,000 tickets, but it's a different thing to say, hey, we're going to have this on YouTube or whatever streaming platform you want, and you will have your brand seen by the most amount of people possible.
Exactly. And that's what I want. Because we could do pay-per-view, but like now, like we said, like there's pay-per-views every weekend, you know, and like
the other thing too is like if the UFC is selling all of their cards for a month for $13, dude,
it's hard to compete.
It's tough to tell somebody to pay $25 for or $30, or some promotions now do $60 pay-per-views for local fighting, which is fucking wild.
We're still going to do a pay-per-view for the undercard for the amateurs, and then for the main card, the 6-7 pro fights, we'll do free on YouTube.
Interesting. Why that way?
Well, because people don't want to watch debut amateurs fight for free on YouTube. I don't want to put that out there.
Yeah.
But also, you can make money off people, you know, selling. They want to watch your fight. Well, we're gonna what do you call it? Do a video, and it costs us money.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch it, then you get to pay. But yeah, I think putting a pro show out there is where I'm more trying to grow those guys.
Let me ask you this too, because you were talking about how like stand-up fight series, you're gonna do a January show at Pops, but like you also have FairTex Fights. How are you trying to do, let's say like 2027, like ideally in your head, what's a calendar look like? Like how many FairTex shows, how many stand-up fight series shows, like how many shows are you trying to do?
So next year, because I'm counting like this October one as part of the year, I'll do another 3 FairTex and probably another 3 stand-up.
Okay, so like
6.
one every 2 months roughly.
Yeah.
That's busy.
Yeah, so I'm going to have some other matchmakers come in. I'm still going to do the FairTex show just because that's the big one. That's a little bit harder. But like for the amateur shows, those are a little bit easier to match up. So I got some people that I'm going to bring in to try their hand at matching and growing my team, you know, because you got to grow a team when you're starting to get this big and do bigger things. You have to have a good team.
Multiple locations, multiple promotions.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure you need a bunch of matchmakers. You need a bunch of marketing people. Not a bunch, but you know what I mean? Like expand the team a little bit, alleviate some of these responsibilities from you, because I'm sure at some point it just gets like overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like right now, it's like my busy time because you're making the card. That's like the hardest thing is honestly matching. Once you're done with matching, it's nice.
Until someone calls you like, I hurt my pinky toe.
I mean, it's going to happen, but now with like FairTex Fight, like I build an AI database. So people fill out a form, it goes to my AI, and it actually helps me matchmake. It helps me like, hey, I'm looking for someone here. Can you find me someone in our list? And it'll go through and match people. And I put in my parameters that I want. And so that's been
you're the first really promoter I've heard talk about that.
Yeah.
I think it's the future. I think more people will be using that.
Yep.
I use a couple AI models for my work. I haven't written a line of code in almost a year now. It's kind of wild. I will say, this show that you're doing now is not going to be at Pops, like the October one. So are you going to have multiple locations? Are you going to move all of your shows to Pops? How are you going to do that?
So next year we'll have multiple locations because I'm going to do the first one at Pops, you know, make sure it works. So I just bought a ring. So I'm going to take the ring there, set it up, figure out our seating chart. The seating is going to be cool because it's got, you know, the upper tier, kind of like the Casa Loma Ballroom did, and the views up there are incredible.
It's kind of like this balcony.
Yeah, balcony. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I'm very smart. And so it's got really a lot of cool sight lines. There's even like we were walking around there, and I found you can actually I'm gonna sell seats at the bar because they have a bar kind of like off to the side. They can actually sit at the bar as a ticketed seat, and like that could be good, could be bad, but we're gonna do it, because it'll be a little bit smaller venue. I think it can hold like 1,700. I think they said maybe 1,300.
I can see that. It was big,
but with the ring and the sight lines, I'm thinking maybe 600, 700. So
I think that's comfortable too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the balcony, and then because the one issue with Pops is like it's got the square footage, but it's like longer than it is wide, if that makes sense. So it's just difficult.
And then there's a beam kind of in the middle of one spot that kind of eats up a little bit of viewing spots, but it's not a big deal.
How hard is that? Because like that's a factor I don't think many people think about, is like when you go to a venue and things like that, the seating arrangement. Like, do you take into consideration like, okay, well, if we're gonna put this chair here, like how much are we gonna charge for that then? Obviously,
that's not so much the hard part. It's creating the seating chart and hoping it works.
Yeah.
That's always like the most like about a new venue is you don't know. So that's why like I just bought a ring. I'm actually buying chairs because Pops doesn't have chairs. Instead of renting chairs, I'm just gonna buy a bunch. And then I'm gonna do like a test run, set it up, make sure everything fits right. So that's like the things that like people don't see is like having to troubleshoot things like that and being like worried about that too. It's like it is definitely a big stressor on it. But yeah.
Yeah, the last thing you want is some person to feel like they would. I've been to shows where the prices of the seats and like how they were configured didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like you'll have a table right next to the cage. I'll tell you an example of one actually. So Shamrock did this Lake of the Ozarks show. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was awesome. Like full disclosure, like I wish they would do more shows like that. Like we went down there, got the hotel and everything. We stayed at the venue that they were having the fights at, and then when the night came, I remember I bought like some VIP ticket, and I was assuming that the VIP ticket would be like cage side, but the VIP ticket was like literally behind the people in these like little cabanas with like you'd have like drinks and stuff like that brought to you. So like in one aspect it was cool because we were being served, yeah, but we're literally behind everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like if you asked me like, do you want to drink or do you want to watch fights as close as possible? I'm choosing fights as close as possible, and I won't have a beer. You know what I mean? So it was just like, it was weird. I remember I talked to Jesse afterwards. I was like, hey man, I love this. This is great. Why the fuck am I all the way back here? Like I would want to be like up front. Like if you would have told me that these seats would be all back, I wouldn't have bought them. I would have bought the tables or whatever. And then Jesse was like, oh, I'll think about that and all these other things. I'm just thinking to myself, it must be a difficult process to kind of configure and figure out like what people also want to do and how they want to be treated. Speaking about Pops is like, so you have that ground floor and then you have the balcony. And some people would say that the balcony is a better view because you're top down. Mm-hmm. Some people say it's a worse view because you're not right next to the cage. So it's just like, as long as you're transparent, and then does the pricing make sense?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best views. I remember at Casa Loma, I was like, man, I want to sit up here
on the balcony.
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And they have a huge one there, and so there's a lot of cool opportunities for some cool VIP things we can do, and I'm really excited about that. Just because I'm also going to get into concert promoting. So like,
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, so
to do a concert afterwards.
But
as if you don't have enough on your plate.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lot easier than dealing with a bunch of fighters. But for me, like I want to do like country music concerts, like standalone events too. So I'm just always going, man. I don't know why I'm like this. Like on the way here, I'm actually creating like a fight promoter playbook, like an online program to sell to people to teach them how to become a promoter. So that way they don't lose their ass if they try to do a show. And so that's gonna be something I'm gonna start creating whenever I get some free time after this show. So yeah, I don't know why I'm like this, but here I am.
Well, I think the approach that you're doing is what I think is the most successful, and that is you're not selling fights, you're selling an evening. Like you're selling an event. And if you can, couple fighting with a concert or fighting, we said this before on your previous shows, how you did at the previous venue, you would do like the point fighting tournament during the day or the day before, and during, like while you're setting up the ring for the stand-up fight series, you also have like a little curtain, and then you have all these like mats laid out, and they're doing the point fighting tournament. Like you're feeding these businesses into one another, and you're creating more than just fight night. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that that's actually the most genius way to sell fights is I'm not selling you fights. I'm selling you an evening of fun, hang out with the boys or whatever, bring the wife, whatever, because it's an all ages show. Oh, also, there might be fights. And also, if you got a babysitter, we're going to do a concert afterwards. Yep. So like you can literally be here from 6 p.m. till 1 a.m. if you wanted to.
Or it pops 6 a.m.
6 a.m. Oh, Jesus Christ. God. I remember being young. Do you have to be there till 6 a.m.?
Hell no.
Dude, I was like,
hell no.
Chad's like, all right, you guys have fun.
I usually after fights, like I am up all night. It's
all
the adrenaline, and then like I go home and like watch all the fights over. My wife's like, go to bed. I'm like, I can't. That was so fun. I can't.
How is that? Like, what is the day? I know what you also used to fight, and I used to fight. I remember that like
you don't sleep.
definitely not after a fight, but like that day after the fight. So like you fight on a Saturday, that Sunday feels
You get
like,
hungover.
yeah. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
it's an adrenaline dump like no other. Is
You
it
know
the
what's
same
the
as a promoter?
worst is when you still have stuff at the venue. You have to go back on Sunday to go pick some stuff up. Yeah,
That's brutal.
yeah, it's
That's
rough.
brutal.
And but now I've got enough people, and like, so before, like, I used to do everything because I didn't have money. Like, so back when I was 32, when I was fighting, I was 31, 32. That's why, like, I was really pushing. I was out in Thailand. I remember sitting in my car and just crying because I was broke. I had no money. I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I thought I was going to close the gym down. This is like 2019. The gym wasn't doing great. I was like, am I going to have to like get a job at Amazon or something? Like, maybe start a marketing company. Like, how can I start a marketing company? I can't even make money at my own gym. I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, holy shit. Like, I don't know what's next. I remember just feeling like a failure. Then, like, I remember hearing like, oh, well, this person didn't start this company until they were like 40 and now they're a millionaire. I'm like, well, fuck that guy. Like, that's not going to be me. I suck. And so I just remember that feeling. And when I started stand-up fights, I literally had zero money. I had no money. I had no business doing any of that stuff. Like, if we wouldn't have made money in that show, I would have been fucked. But we did. So here we are now. But like the moral of that story is like, sometimes you just gotta believe in yourself and just do it, you know. And now I'm lucky enough, like our gyms have over 500 members combined. Well, we're like 475. I'm rounding up,
That's
but
amazing.
we'll be there after the mass exodus of August. For gym owners, August is the worst
Really?
because
Oh,
people go back to
people go to
schools,
school.
schedules change. It sucks.
That
So
makes
if you
sense.
survive August, then you're good. We'll be back to 500 by December for sure.
That's insane, brother.
Yeah, but like it gives me that cushion. Like, hey, if I lose 5 or 10,000 on this first show, I'm okay. Like, I'm not gonna be eating ramen noodles or anything like that. And that kind of gives me a cushion of like the ability to grow this. That's why, you know, we're putting a lot of money in this show, is because I'm not crippled by that. Now, if it's like every time, then yeah, we're not going to do this anymore. So, but yeah.
Do you mind if I ask a question about like when you were 31, 32, 2019, 2020? You say that you didn't have a whole lot of money and that you were.
I was in Thailand. I had to call my mom. Like, Mom, so this is embarrassing.
I need to eat.
I need like $500 because I've got nothing, and I'm out here in Thailand. So hi, I love you. Thanks, bye.
So,
Yeah, that was a hard call to make.
well, that's what I was trying to say is like a lot of people when they tell me like about their business ideas or whatever, the majority of them, what they're really looking for is like a 0% interest loan. They want you to come in and like finance a business for
Yeah.
them, right? And I always thought to myself, like, capital should be the easiest hurdle you overcome as an entrepreneur. Now, that's easy to be said, but it's harder to do, right? Because like if you don't have money, but you have an idea, before you can even like execute the idea, you have to execute like how to get money. So if you don't mind me asking, I'm not trying to like dig into the finances too much, but like when you started the gym, like did you get like a business loan? Did you get a loan from your parents? Like how did you go about getting the initial capital to get started?
So the loan I got from my parents was I stole my mom's little like 10-pound dumbbells and her little like 15-pound kettlebell she had at the house. But I was lucky, man. So I was getting my hair cut. This guy Ken, he used to kickbox, and he knew I kickboxed and did all boxing, Muay Thai, all that. And right next to his salon was a dance studio. He said, "Hey, this dance studio is looking to sublease space out at night because they're not busy at night. You should sublease it and do kickboxing." I was like, that's a really good idea. So I looked into it. Sure enough, she did a split with me, a 70-30 split. So I got 70% of what I brought in. She got 30% what she brought in. I'm so grateful for that because without that, I never would have started, because it was no risk to me. I didn't have to pay rent. You know, if I didn't make money, then whatever. And that was in 2011. That's how Maryville Muay Thai started. And, you know, back then it was called Fighting for Fitness, F3. And then that's how I just slowly built it up from grassroots and slowly built, and never had to take a loan or anything like that. So
You were also still fighting at the time, so how difficult was it to start this path of like entrepreneurship slash coaching
mhm.
and then also still competing at the time? I know that you originally like the reason why you stopped fighting wasn't because of like the gym or anything, it was actually
Yeah,
because
my
of
knee.
injuries.
Yeah.
But how difficult was that to manage both of these things simultaneously?
You know, it really wasn't too bad because I had a lot of free time. You know, like I was only doing the gym, so I was always there, so it was just kind of easy to go train. Now it did because I was training at Knuckles Boxing over in Madison, Illinois, so it was harder to get over there at night. But eventually, I started, bringing guys in that were coming into my gym, and they became my training partners. And I was actually able to get my old kickboxing coach to come and start coaching classes at my gym. So then I'd start training with him. So it was actually a little bit easier, because I was young. I was like 22, 23 as well. So yeah. So
What would be your number one piece of advice that you would give someone who's younger, who's maybe thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, not necessarily a gym owner, maybe they want to do, I don't know, an ice cream shop or whatever. What would be the number one piece of advice that you would give someone knowing what you know now about business in general?
they have to always be learning. Like I'm obsessed with marketing. I'm obsessed with learning. I'm always on YouTube, especially now these days with YouTube and the amount of free stuff you can learn on there. Um, you just have to continually invest in yourself and you have to be the hardest worker. Like being an entrepreneur doesn't mean you're on vacation all the time. Now, me and my wife are in a position now where like we're looking at living in Florida in February for a month because we want to. And like that's what entrepreneurship can give you. But in the beginning, it's not that. It's 60, 70 hours a week. It's, you know, like I was working from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m. Doing personal training all morning and then a little break in the afternoon and then training all night from 3 to 9, and then working on marketing. And so in the beginning, it's a lot of front load, heavy stuff. And also, you don't have to have everything figured out. Sometimes you just got to start if you're able to. Like some stuff you can't like just get into, if you're like, want to do a heavy machinery, you need money, but like not everything.
You also don't want to learn that off YouTube.
Yeah, but like
you know what you're doing here. I've seen a video.
So I mean, it just kind of depends on what you're wanting to do, but yeah, sometimes it's just do you have that drive? That's the biggest thing. If you don't have that drive, don't get into entrepreneurship because it's not going to work out for you.
And when you say drive, you mean like
for me, for instance, I have 2 gyms, looking to open a third, 2 fight promotions. Concert marketing or concert, promotion business I'm going to ready to start. And I'm wanting to start another business of the coaching for fight promoters. It's like, why? Why am I doing this? I don't know.
Yeah, let me cater my question a little bit more. Is like when you say drive, what is fueling you? Is it like the promise of the monetary? And by the way, there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like it when people like don't bring money into the equation. It's like, dude, all of this would be moot if you weren't receiving something for all your efforts. But I guess for my question is like when you say drive in the pie chart of drive, like 100%, how much of it is like status to be the guy that runs the thing? How much of it is money to be compensated for all your effort? How much of it is network? Because now you employ people, dude. You're giving people an avenue in which they can generate income for themselves. So like in that drive, what would some of these allocations look like?
Yeah, for me it's freedom.
Freedom, so 100% freedom, just do whatever you want.
Well, and money's going to provide that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if I want to go to fucking Thailand for 3 months every summer with our kids, I want to be able to do that, and that's what drew me to becoming an entrepreneur was I didn't want someone dictating my life. That's why I was so grateful to be able to go to Thailand and live out there for a few months at a time, and why I can still do it now. It's like my gym's run. I got staff now that takes care of everything. I'm only at my Maryville about 3 hours a week. Usually ends up being like 4 or 5 because I stay extra and coach more with the fight team. But I'm very blessed to be able to do that. But that's what drives me is the freedom to do whatever the hell I want to do. Yep.
God bless.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
That's why we were in Florida a couple weeks ago on vacation, and I wanted to work. I'm like, no, that's why I work so hard, so I don't have to work when I'm out here. Like, you don't have to work or take a month off.
How does your wife deal with it? Because I right now I'm burning the candle on both ends, and my wife is like, you need to like chill out, Ariana, and all these other things. I'm like, hey, listen. If we do this shit now, because like she'll say things, and I understand where she's coming from. She's like, our daughter's she's about to turn 4 next month, and we're taking her to like Disney World. We're gonna be out there for like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, hey, you want all these things, and I want all these things as well. But what I want more than anything is like when our daughter turns like 10, 15, those teenage years where we can actually like I hate to say it this way, but like, a 4-year-old, I can't take them all the places that I would want to go myself. When my daughter's like a teenager, I want to be able to take a fucking month and be
Mhm.
like, let's go travel Europe. I want to go to Rome. I want to go to Greece. I want to go to all these places. I want to take my daughter with us. I want to take my wife with us. And how am I going to be able to do that? I hate to say it this way. Yeah, you can save up money. You could do a 9 to 5 and you could probably like, make it work and all these other things. Or you could just fucking take the risk, start your own thing, and now you have this revenue generating entity that will also make money for me even when I'm not present. And that's the key.
Yep.
Like when we say freedom, what we really mean is so long as your ability to earn is tied directly to your labor, you're not free because you need to be in labor
Yep.
to make money. The second my labor generates a thing that can generate me money, now I'm free. Now I can make money and go do something else. And that is literally freedom.
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing as well. And sometimes my wife, like, I think obviously she gets it. If she watches this, she'll be like, motherfucker, I know. But there are times where like my wife kind of like hounds me like, hey, you need to be more present. You need to be all of this. And I have to kind of remind her, I'm like, hey, remember this moment where we're 40 and we're traveling wherever the fuck we want to do, whenever we want to do it because we have all the funds and everything's taken care of. I just want you to remember this moment.
And my wife says the same thing. She's like, I hate these fights because I feel like you're not present. I'm like, listen, this is very short term. Like, and this is like my busy time when I'm matching the cards, right? Because you have to message people. Everyone answers different times, and I'm trying to get the sponsor. Like everything's just kind of dumped on my plate really, really quickly. And that's what I'm trying to make her see the same thing. It's like, hey, but I say when we're 40, shit, I'm almost 40 already. She's already 40. When we're 50, damn it, and we have all this extra free time. We're so lucky. Like we both stay at home with the kids all day.
How much of a blessing is that?
It's a blessing and a curse. No, it's amazing.
Chad's like, I'm thinking about getting an office.
Yeah. And no, it's amazing. Like we go to the water park on Tuesdays, like during the day. It's really cool. And I'm just very lucky that we get to do it. I can't imagine not being with my kids every day. So yeah, I love it. And that's what entrepreneurship's given us. But like I said, like it comes in waves. Like I took a year off promoting, and I took 3 months. I don't think I did anything besides like just go to the gym and enjoy time with the family. So it's ebbs and flows for sure.
When you do take those little pauses, do people kind of hound you?
No one gives a shit. And I have good staff too, and I always thank them. I'm like, hey, thank you guys. Like
Holding down the fort.
yeah, holding down the fort because like life, man. Like I have really busy seasons, I have really slow seasons, I have really hard seasons. Like last year or 2 years ago, my dad had cancer. Or my grandfather died. My cat died. Our dog died. Like all this bad stuff kept happening. And it like makes you realize like, oh man, like you gotta really appreciate the slow times, the easy times, because shit can get really hard out there, and you gotta appreciate the times when it is like that. So like right now I'm busy. Yes. Does it suck? No, but it makes you appreciate the slow times for sure.
One of my favorite quotes is, what a blessing it is to be overwhelmed for the work that I prayed for.
Yeah, and that's exactly like this promotion, FairTex Fight. I was going back and forth, like, do I want to do this? Like, because I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's going to be a lot of stress, a lot of demand. And I was like, do I want to do this? And I was thinking, this was the same reason I went to Thailand and decided to go out there and fight, is when I'm older and I look back at my life, am I going to have regrets that I did not take that? Like, because who knows, like, this could be my big moment to become, like, the Dana White of Muay Thai. Like, and that's what I'm getting ready to start my branding, is we're going to shoot some content trying to build me up as a promoter, just get more people to know who I am, because people buy people, right? FairTex Fight's one thing, but if they see me and they like me, and like, so for instance, I'll tell you what we're about to do. I got this idea. There's this YouTube channel called The Road to the Kenyan Premier League. It's a soccer team out of Kenya, and this guy bought it, right? And he opens up the door. He shows you the profit loss. He shows you, them building the team, raising up the ranks through the soccer leagues as they get promoted. And it gave me an idea, like, do that for the promotion. Like,
yeah, you get people invested.
Yeah, follow along. Like, so the first episode, I'm going to the venue I'm going to shoot next week. It's, hey, I'm spending $75,000 on this show. I don't know if I'm going to make money. Follow along and see what happens. And I'm not like, did I make a really bad choice or am I okay?
You're inadvertently also like taking them into your life from the entrepreneurial side.
Yeah. And so like I'm going to record calls. So, like we've been talking to Flow TV, Flow Sports. They're interested in becoming like a partner. So they're bringing back their combat sports channel. So they gotten rid of it. You know, they had the Flow grappling and all that, but they got rid of the Flow combat. So we're talking to them too and seeing if it makes sense, common sense and sense, to do it that way or to go the route that I want, which is get a title sponsor and go to YouTube. But, you know, I'm not throwing them away because they have connections with like CBS and TV. And like, that is my goal to like get on actual TV. I forgot I was going there.
No, you're talking about like how you're approaching this in a different. Originally, we were talking about like workload and like managing all this other stuff, and you're kind of diving into some of the plans that you have because of this extra load that you're taking on with FairTex Fights, right? But I think the way you're navigating it is, in my opinion, the correct one because you are correct. Like one of the reasons why the UFC blew up when it did was because of that, was the Ultimate Fighter specifically, and them realizing who Dana White is and the Fertitta brothers and all these other things, and then them realizing the story of like, how many times have you heard the story about how like Lorenzo called Dana and was like, I want to sell this thing, go find a buyer. And then in the morning, he's like, never mind, fuck it, we're going to run this. Like, but there's like these small moments in business where like you can zig or you can zag, and it could have been completely different, or you could have failed, or any of these other things. I think allowing people to get invested in it and then they feel like they're a part of it is genius. I think that's the best way to do it. That's why I think MMA is dying, because they're not doing that anymore. To be honest with you, they're not selling the stories of the individuals. They're not selling the stories of the people in charge anymore, because now the people in charge is a publicly traded company. Who are the people in charge? You know what I mean? It's a different story now. I think that's genius. I think if you do something for yourself, I think if you do something for like some of the fighters, like an Embedded, I think it changes the game, especially for the local scene. You're going to see all the fighters that are going to be lining up to fight for you, because now you're also promoting their brand. You're building them up. It's now a privilege to fight for you. And that's something that I think is also missing from, I think we've talked about this last time you were on, the showmanship of fighting. It's good to be a great fighter. Like Ty Prackett, for instance. I could watch that kid fight 50 times in a row and still be like, ooh, ah. Like, you know what I mean? He just does cool shit. The way he fights, his style, his aggression.
Oh, this fight's going to be crazy.
But you'll have, like, not everybody can fight like that, right? So, like, does that mean that the other people, maybe someone else might not be as athletic or as explosive as Ty, but maybe they have a great fucking story. And if you can tell that story, now I'm just as invested in that person's fight. Maybe I want them to win because they're overcoming some big hurdle. Maybe I want them to lose because they're a giant cunt. Like, who knows? You know what I mean? But sell
that's something we're going to do to make the fans more invested on this show. And if you're a sponsor, a local business, and you want to get in on this, we're making programs. And then the program is going to tell you about the fighters, maybe a little story, maybe a little write-up, a little bio. So you feel like, because that allows you just, their names on a card. What's that to you? Oh, this person's a kindergarten teacher versus, this guy, and their, sibling passed away and blah, 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 and that's who they're fighting in honor of. Oh, I want to root for them now. So like kind of getting people more invested and creating the local fans, because without the local fans too, like I'm not gonna be able to sell out venues. Like I don't want to just be at the Steel Shop. I want to go to the Family Arena. I want to, do bigger venues and sell those out, bring bigger names in. And I think just something as small as that. So we're selling like $500 half-page ads, and you get a booth in the venue that night. But you're also, helping us grow the sport. So, yeah.
I think I want to get in on that.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk off the record about that. Yeah, if that's, I'll be honest with you. I don't really need marketing, to be completely frank with you. But if this is the avenue that you're going to pursue, I want to be a part of like helping it to whatever extent that I can. I like what you do, man. I like how you do it. I like the transparency of which you do it. I like how you help everybody around you. You're like a net positive in this industry, in this sport. I think that you should succeed because of how you're doing it.
And that's like my motto is like, just be a good person. And 100%, I believe that's why I got this FairTex deal. Is so when Stamp was here, so she's getting her master's, and she has to do like some video interviews with people talking about the gym business. And so her manager, interviewed me, and I think that they just saw like I genuinely care, and because I do, I love the sport, I love the people, I love helping people. Like I'm able to employ Ty Prackett at my gym full time. He's able to train full time. Like I'm so like happy to do that. And eventually, like I want to sell him the gym or like help him open a gym and things like that. But like, I just want to grow a sport. I mean, I want these fighters to get paid more. Like I want to pay Trey Lewis $50,000 to fight. Like that's what I want. Yeah.
Something that people don't really know about you, but I got to see firsthand was actually when we went on that meeting together. I don't know if you recall this, but it's funny that I don't think I'll ever forget this. In the middle of a meeting talking about like your business and all these other things, you're also bringing up like, oh, it was like an off comment someone made about like security. And you're like, do you need more security guys? I got some guys that could like, not only are you thinking about what you're trying to set up and like how you're going to try to set it up, but then off one little comment, you're like, ooh, that's an opportunity for 2 or 3 of the guys that I know. I got some guys that could use a job and all these other things. I enjoy that about you. I sound like I'm glazing you a little bit right now, but like it's a very admirable quality to have because a lot of people that I know are solely driven in that purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that, like for themselves, right? Like, hey, I need to make sure my business works because if my business doesn't work, I can't help out everybody else, and I get that. But it's also refreshing to see someone like, hey, like I'm on a mission. Also, there's a side quest here. I can help somebody. Thanks for that piece of information. By the way, I might have 2 or 3 guys, and it's an admirable quality. I think.
Appreciate it.
I think people should know that about you. So that's why I wanted to bring
But
it
also,
up.
if I hate you, I really fucking hate you. By the way,
Do you have any?
oh, there's a couple people I fucking can't stand here. Like just some fraudsters, man. Just some clowns.
In the local area? Or?
Oh yeah, Rash. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some fucking idiots.
Yeah, I wish I could sit here and tell you that I was a saint as well. There's just some people that I just don't agree with.
Yeah.
And I don't hate anybody.
Yeah, I'm not going to be mean to them, but if they try and talk to me, I'm like, no.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Like it's a piece of shit. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, I have one more question about the business side of it, and then I actually want to talk about the October show.
Yeah.
The last question I have about the business is that like, it sounds like you have grand plans. So like one of the reasons why we're doing this podcast right now is to talk about FairTex, is to talk about the show in October, to catch up as well because it's been a minute. But based on what you're saying right now, it seems like this is like a stepping stone. Like you're talking about,
this is the beginning.
You want to be the Dana White of Muay Thai. You want to bring, ONE FC to or a ONE FC
Become
equivalent
ONE FC,
here.
yeah.
So this is monumental, brother.
And who knows? Like it might be the point where we do bring ONE FC back because now we have the infrastructure to do it. A little bit smarter. So instead of bringing everything from Asia, we could have everything here already. Know the commissions, things like that. So that's not out of the
realm of possibility.
Yeah, but like Prim, so the managing director of FairTex right now. Man, he's just such a good person. He's so fair. He's such a, like, that's what I strive to be. And like the Thai people, man, it's just something in their culture that they're just incredible people. Now, of course, you're going to have, your outliers and people talking shit and stuff still, but he is so kind and that's how I want to be. But also like respected at the same time, like not like, oh, just getting walked over at the same time. But I'm just very lucky to be partnered with them. And yeah, that's the goal is, to grow this. It's not just to be here in St. Louis. Like we want to take this as big as we can, and especially with the FairTex name. Now, I think to grow this in America, to become like equivalent to UFC, would we have to change the name from FairTex Fight to something more of the American appetite? I don't know.
What do you mean?
So,
do you think that actually matters?
I think so. Americans,
a name?
Americans like American shit.
I mean,
they don't know what
FairTex
FairTex means. So like, will we, to get bigger, will we have to change the name of that?
Interesting.
So like, I think that's one of the big reasons why Muay Thai hasn't become huge here yet, is because it's very, Asian based. They want to see Americans and...
Don't you think it's a little bit of ignorance? Like, perhaps the reason why it's not that big is because there are... And I'll be the first person to tell you. So, my foray into Muay Thai has been through you.
Yeah.
I've never had a Muay Thai fight.
Yeah.
To the extent that I fought outside of like MMA was like some boxing matches and kickboxing matches, but never a Muay Thai fight. And then going to my first show, there's a rhythm to it. There's spectacle. There's like some norms, like the armbands, the praise, the reverence. Like Lordzilla's fight had this the most I've ever seen. Actually, there was like a whole like 10-minute fucking
My crew, yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
it was like dead silent. People were like tuned in. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm ignorant to this, and I'm a fight fan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a question of like there's not an appetite for it. I think it's the thing like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
and I
but,
think
like,
it's just about
to the
educating.
casual. Because to get as big as the UFC or something like that, you're selling to the casuals.
well, that's the UFC
Yeah.
did it through the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah.
That's how they did it.
Yeah.
And then
I just don't know if we can.
10 years ago we had the Just Bleed guy. You know what I mean? Now we have
Yeah.
educated people.
But like, there's a reason I don't do. So the music that plays while they fight is called Samara. There's a reason we don't play that because as Americans are gonna be like, oh, what's that? That's annoying. That's so loud. Well, I love it. Me and Liam Harrison were talking because we teach stadium style Muay Thai and entertainment style. So stadium style, like if you block a kick with your arms, it's not a block. That's a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's tons of nuance like that. Like you can be winning a fight if I get you in a clinch and take your back and get behind you. I can win the fight just off of that move there. But we teach that style because we love that style. But also, the average American's not going to love that
Understand
because
it.
they understand violence, right? That's why I always say, like,
it's the most American thing I've heard.
Yeah,
Americans understand
but like,
violence.
but like that's like what I mean by like we have to bring a different type of Muay Thai here than like the stadium style Muay Thai. That's why ONE FC they used the little gloves. They changed the rules. It's essentially kickboxing with elbows and like a very very limited clinch. A lot of Thais don't even consider it Muay Thai because there's no clinch in it, and just with the little gloves it changes a little bit. But we're the outliers. That's what I was telling Liam. I was like, Liam, like we love it, but the average person doesn't. Like,
Yeah.
like we're trying to sell something that people don't want. They want to see violence. They want to watch a fight and be like, oh, that guy won. Not, oh, well, that guy beat the crap out of him, but he didn't throw as many body kicks, even though he punched him to death. So he lost, right? So there's a little bit of things like that.
How difficult is that with the State Athletic Commission too, though? Because that's like, yeah, you're talking about styles, but one of the things that we're kind of leaving out of this is also the Athletic Commission that has to oversee this.
Yeah,
So
so
like they're used to MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling more than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
And then in comes Chad with like Muay Thai, where you're like, hey guys, you've been to Thailand multiple times. You understand the culture. You understand the sport. Maybe better than the Athletic Commission. Probably
Oh,
better than the Athletic
way
Commission.
better, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like. The other variable in this is also like educating the people that are supposed to be quote unquote managing the safety of it.
Yeah, so like I actually wrote the rules for
No
Missouri.
offense, Tim. I love you guys.
Yeah, but like I wrote the rules for Missouri for the Muay Thai. I didn't have our rules, so I presented the rules to them.
and they took it in?
Yeah.
Not a boy.
Yep. So little things like that. But you know the way they score is they score off of clean shots landing and damage. That's all they care about. They don't care if it's a leg kick, calf kick. They score calf kicks, which is good. Some like IKF doesn't score calf kicks. So
That's wild.
yeah, it's not a scoring zone in kickboxing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Someone
so-
kicked that person in the calf.
Yeah, it's
Tell me if
it's
that's
not fun.
Yeah, and to the point of like blocking a kick, I always said this in fighting. Maybe you'll disagree or agree with me. I don't believe in blocking. Like whenever I would train with people, I'd be like, "Hey, listen, there's damage taken and there's damage dealt. And if you block something, that's fine. I didn't hit your chin, but now I hit the shoulder.
Yeah, your arms are
I
getting
you may
toasted.
have checked on the thigh. That's fine. I'm still kicking you. Like I'm doing damage to you, not the other way around. And so long as that's happening, I'm winning that fight.
Yep.
I don't care how much fucking shit you block.
Yep.
Now parries and evasion, different story.
different, yeah.
I didn't hit you at all.
Yeah.
But anyway,
You're taking that impact on the arms. There's damage
yeah,
being
dude.
done.
And when people like when non-fight fans or even fighters like sometimes will make this mistake, they'll be like, "Oh, that didn't do damage." I'm like, "Dude, everything is damage."
So when I do a 6-week fundamentals to get into sparring, right? And I said, all right, who wants to let me kick him in the arms? So someone will, I'll do it. And I'm like, all right.
Jesus Christ.
So I'll kick them like 40%, about 3 times in their arms. But every time by the third one, they're like pulling away. And I'm like, yeah, see, that hurts. Like that. I know people that break in their arms catching kicks like that. I posted a knockout just yesterday. I don't know if you saw it last night. So Christian West is fighting on this card, and he knocked out a guy that he went to go catch the kick like this, hit him, knocked him out through the glove.
Yeah.
You know, so like Yeah.
How many times have you seen guys like block and then they break their forearms from
Yeah.
a kick,
Yeah.
blocking a head kick?
Yeah. My buddy Sean Fagan, the Muay Thai guy, broke his arm doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With no offense, Wayne Creder, I've seen his hand broke in a K1 fight for Shamrock. Like the guy threw a clean head kick, Wayne blocked it, but then like Wayne comes down to the corner afterwards, like my fucking arm's broken. And shout out to Wayne, finished the fight. But like what I'm trying to say is, yeah, he's a dog. But
he's a good dude. I like him.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is like, to that point is like, dude, damage is fucking damage.
Yeah.
And I get that, like, clean shots should matter more than like, glancing blows or if you're blocking something. But at the end of the day, you're either offensive or defensive. And it sounds kind of bro-y, like stupid, but
well, we are bros. It's
yeah. Okay. I always said like, people know who wins a fight. How do you know? Who would you have rather been at the end of it? Yep. So 100%. I don't think it takes a genius. I might not understand the nuances of Muay Thai to the extent that you do, but I do like to think that I do like violence, and I've been bathed in those waters for a long time. And I'll say this, as someone who didn't do any Muay Thai whatsoever, to go to your shows, it is so fun. It was I said this last time, the Lordzilla card, top to bottom, fucking banger fights. The atmosphere of the crowd, the spectacle of like that Thai tradition, it was a lot of fucking fun. My wife was like, that was so much fun. And my wife is like, I love you, babe. She's not the biggest fan of like, hey, we're going to fights again. They're like, oh, okay. You know, she can't wait to go to the next one.
Hell yeah.
So you're doing something right is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
And then it's showing like in our ticket sales, like the front rows already sold out. Like people were excited and
yeah. Save me like something on the second row, please. Because I messaged him after I was like, bro, let me get something. He's like, bro, we're sold out. I was like, fuck.
Sorry, man.
I missed. No. That's
good
what
problem
I get.
to have. Yeah,
that's what I get.
To have. But like I remember, shows where we weren't selling anything at all. I'm like, oh no, this is not good. So like that's why I left Casa Loma. It's like those shows there for whatever reason didn't sell well. So.
You adjust.
Yep.
So speaking of shows and speaking of selling out front row, let's talk about October, man. So I'll start with a couple fights that I'm interested in, and you can tell me if I'm lost in the sauce. First of all, Gigax versus Nelson. You finally got that in.
Well.
Oh no! No! Again?
Yeah. So
fuck!
Luke came out to me and he's like, hey man, I just don't have the fire to compete anymore. I'm gonna retire. He's 41 years old.
He's done.
And he has a really hard labor job. And he's just like, I can't, my body's just not recovering. And he's like, he knows to fight Drew, like you have to be
Drew's a dog.
Tip top shape, and he just knows like his body's just not hanging on anymore. So he came, man to man, talked to me face to face, which I appreciated. And I was like, hey man.
But he's thinking about being done.
Yeah. So he's done. He's retired, and hey, no problem.
No, if you're listen.
If you know, like your body more than anyone else. So, you gotta do what's best for you and your health. But that's why I got Christian West coming in.
Ooh.
So Christian West and Drew.
That's the new
matchup there for that. Okay. So that's gonna be a great fight. Christian, I think, is like in the weight class above Drew, ranked number 4 in the USA.
That's
in
a
the
fucking
WBC.
fight, dude.
So it's gonna be a great fight. Christian, his record's only 3-4, but like the guys he's lost to are like the top guys in the WBC. It's like 1, 2, and 3 guy. So it's gonna be a really good fight. Yeah.
How did I'm guessing you talked to Drew about this.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, how did he feel about all of it?
He wanted to fight Luke. Obviously, they literally hate each other. So, but
I don't know. Can I ask a question? Why? Like, what was it? Like, why do they dislike each other? Because I know both guys.
Yeah,
I like both guys.
There was like a sparring incident.
Oh yeah.
This is a story I heard from one side. It could be.
No, I'm an idiot. I had Drew literally on the podcast.
Yeah.
No, now I remember it. Yeah, it was because of like a sparring session.
Yeah,
someone was like
going too hard, and then someone retaliated.
It escalated. Yeah. Sorry, I had to think about that. Sorry, because I had Drew on the podcast and he told me about it, but now it's all coming back to me. Yeah, it's some people are like female elephants, man. They never forget.
Yep. Yeah, it's like 10 years ago. All right, guys.
Doesn't matter. Bad blood.
Yeah, no, I was really excited about that. Like, I like Luke, I like Drew. I think they're both great guys, and they're both hell of a fighters.
Yeah,
and that was going to be a banger. But yeah, so it's still a banger. Christian West is legit. It's going to be a really good fight.
You also got we spoke about Trey and Ty.
Yep.
earlier in the conversation, but both guys are also fighting on this card. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Ty is fighting for a belt. Isn't Trey as well?
Yeah, both are 5-round fights.
And if they win this, they're
going to one next. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. So FairTex is actually coming to the fights. You know, he's scouting for talent, and that's what we want to do. Like, that's how we're gonna get people and excited to fight in our cards. Is, hey, you fight with us, you impress us, you go to the next level until we become the next level, and that's the goal with that. But Ty Brackett's fighting a kid from San Diego. He's the number 1 in the WBC. Ty's number 2. It makes sense. So they're fighting a 5-round fight for the USA title. And Christian Rodriguez, he's only 20 years old. He's number 1. He has like 40 or something fights. But what's funny is they both train at the same gym in Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Warucha. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a really good fight. I mean, they're both so fast and very skilled. It's a high-level fight. That's why they're their main event for a reason, because, like I said, whoever wins that's going to be in one next.
Yeah, so, and then Trey's fighting. Forgive me, I don't know who's Trey's opponent is.
Jawan Britton. So he's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he's the number 6 guy in the WBC. Trey's number 5. So it's 5 versus 6. Dude's solid. Like, he's a solid guy.
It's wild that you're able to get these guys to fight one another. Because in MMA, I feel like now the only real fights that happen are in the UFC or LFA, at least. Yeah. It's hard to get these guys to fight one another.
Yeah. So here's why.
Is it hard for you to match these people?
Not right now, because there's really only 2 pro shows right now in America. There's us and Coalition. And there's some other shows that might do like 1 or 2 pro shows, but not doing 6 or 7 pro fights on a card. And then we have the FairTex name. So, like, people want to fight because they realize, oh, shit, like,
this is legit.
Yeah, I could get sponsored by FairTex. I could go to ONE FC after, who knows? Like when Stamp's coach was here, his name's Champ, they were, like, wanting Ty to go out to FairTex to become a FairTex fighter, too. So, there's avenues of that, like, being seen by, us and getting recruited and things like that, too. So, yeah.
Dude, this is legit.
Yeah. Have you seen the FairTex gym?
Well, what I was gonna say is, like, your efforts are now producing, like, viable monetary aspects for your fighters now too. It's irrespective. It's like, your promotion helps you, obviously, it helps them to compete, but now because of your connections that you're getting because of the promotion, it's offering different avenues for now your fighters as well.
Yeah,
like, this is amazing.
Yeah, and that's the goal. Because, like, if you don't, why are people going to fight for you? Like, they want access. Like, that's like the biggest thing. I told FairTex, I said, hey, I'm not going to ask you for money. I'm asking you for access. I just want access to your connections with sponsors, with ONE, with your gym. Like, that's like the biggest thing that you could give me is access. And yeah, so that's what we're looking to do.
Bless.
But if you go on YouTube, look up FairTex Gym Tour in Pattaya. It is incredible. That gym is insane. It's so cool. They actually own the hotel it's in, so they have like a 6-story hotel that they actually own that you can like stay in while you're there. It's insane.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So we have Ty, Trey, Drew. Anybody else that we should know?
Jameis Taylor.
Oh, Jameis is fighting on that one as well?
He's leaving the commentary desk again.
No shit.
And he's fighting a guy.
What's Danny Moriarty going to do?
Yeah. Well, actually, no. He's fighting a guy, KJ Franklin, out of the Carolina Kickboxing Academy. So I don't know if you remember Jeremiah.
Kurt Wright?
No, he's out of Carolina. I can't remember his freaking last name now. I just looked at him tonight, or he fought last night. He fought Dakota Bush over here in NFA with the dreads. The braids.
Oh, yeah.
So it's from his gym. I'm sorry, Jeremiah, for blanking on your last name. But they're out of the same gym, and KJ is very exciting. He's a very explosive fighter. But I'm excited for Jameis because he's fighting in his weight class again. He's been fighting like 170 pounds.
Jameis trains with you, correct? Like, he trains at your gym?
He's at Quentin's.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh, Quentin's gym. Yeah. Sorry.
Yep. He'd come out and spar every once in a while.
That's why. I know that he cross-trains somewhat. Yeah.
Yep. But he's going to be out of his actual weight class. So they're fighting at 47 pounds. We're like,
Jameis can make 147 pounds?
Yeah, he was fighting 170 because he couldn't find fights.
Jesus Christ. I didn't know Jameis can make 140. Dude, he's a big... Yeah. He's like Sean Woodson levels for that.
Yep. So I'm excited for him.
Fucking cheater.
And then we got Mike Ofer versus Adam Reynolds. So Adam Reynolds fought and lost to the guy Trey's fighting. And that dude's 6'5". He's huge.
Well, Mike's a fuck.
Mike's also 6'5".
Yeah,
And huge.
Mike's a
I remember I
motherfucker,
kicked
too.
Mike and it hurt me. I leg kicked him.
Speaking
Like,
about
why did that
damage.
hurt me? Like, what? Like,
I hit
felt
you, or
kicked
you
a
hit me, and I
steel
still hit
rod.
you.
Yeah, I'm like, this is stupid.
I've seen Mike fight, and dude, he's same with Trey. Mike and Trey are like kind of similar. They're just fucking violent, man.
Yep. What I really want to see out of Mike this card, because his first 2 pro fights, like I've seen him train, I've seen him spar. When he fought, he didn't do the things he was doing in his training. So I'm really excited to see if he's put that piece together, because if he does, he's going to be knocking dudes out. If he can fix that little problem.
Implying that he's like in the
He just
gym.
wasn't as creative. He wasn't as
Gotcha.
creative. He's a little too stiff.
You think he's nervous?
Yeah, I think sometimes those lights
The
do stuff to
nerves,
people. So if he can kind of settle that down, maybe read the book, The Power of Now. That's a good one.
Subtle hint is
Yeah,
subtle.
read that damn book. No, because talk about the flow state, right? Yeah. So if he can get in that flow state, he's going to be even more dangerous than he is, because he's still dangerous. Still an undefeated pro fighter. So yeah.
Jesus, I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah. Yeah. But
October can't get here
Yep.
soon enough.
And I still got some big names I'm trying to get on. Like
Anybody on the amateur side that we should?
we got Max
and
Reed.
comer?
Max Reed's always fun to watch. Trying to think who else we got. I got some women's fights that I'm really excited about. I have this girl actually debuting. She's only like 7 months in. She came in her first week, and I was like, holy shit, she's good.
7 months into training.
7 months into training.
Okay.
After the first month, I told her, I said, hey, you're going to be a world champion. Like, if you stick, because she's like 19, I think she's 20 now. I was like, you're going to be a world champion. Like, it's just how fast she picks it up, how quick. So she's actually making her debut next week in Indianapolis with me, but she's going to be fighting. I got some really good amateurs on the card too, but yeah.
How are
really
you
good
attracting
fights.
these people to the sport? Because we were talking earlier about like how Muay Thai is not necessarily the most well known in America of the martial arts, right? And we were talking about earlier about like how jiu-jitsu gyms are like popping up left and right. How are you attracting people to Muay Thai? Is it that marketing that you were talking about? Like,
Yeah, the marketing, making it look cool. Like putting Facebook ads out that.
well, you guys
makes
do
it look
have really
fun.
fancy pants.
Yeah, we do have very, very, very short shorts. But short shorts were in style. Now long shorts are back in style. So I'm like, that's gonna hurt us a little bit. No, but just trying to make it look cool. Like, just a lot of people. I'm like, how did you find us? I looked up on Google. I'm like, do you watch Muay Thai? They're like, no, I watch the UFC. I'm like, well, why don't you do jiu-jitsu or MMA gym? They go, I want to do jiu-jitsu. I'm like, all right, me neither.
God bless.
Cool, come on in. Welcome.
And then I pull guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm also in a weird way, like, I don't want to say like the words proud of you, but like I'm very happy for the trajectory that you're on too, because I know how much work you put into this.
And I have no idea how any of this shit happened either, by the way. Like, it just makes no
Hard
sense.
work.
Yeah, dude, it's just
Consistency.
crazy. It's like sometimes I'm like, is this really real? Like, interesting. All right, cool. It's just crazy.
You were talking about if you don't mind, I do want to ask about this. You were talking about the like training manual for promoters.
Mm-hmm.
What is the impetus of this? Why are you trying to do this? Because are you hoping that more promotions will then sprout up from Muay Thai to give your guys like, because obviously you're only
it's not
one
just
man.
going to be for Muay Thai. It's going to be for everything. I just want to create something that I wish I had, because I would have started promoting when I was like 22, 23, because I wanted to back then. I didn't know how to. And I didn't start promoting until I did the point tournaments. I told this story before. I was at a tournament. I was fighting in South Carolina, and I walk into the ballroom. It was the wrong ballroom, and there's people fighting on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck's going on in here? Like, are they warming up? Or like, but they were competing. I'm like, what is going on? So I was like, oh, it's a semi-contact tournament. I'm like, oh, okay, weird. All right, didn't think anything of it. Went and fought my fight. Then afterwards, I was like, we should have that in St. Louis. So I called the promoter. I'm like, hey, how can we bring this to St. Louis? And he's like, yeah, you can be the promoter. I'm like, whoa, I thought you were going to bring it. Like, no, I didn't know.
I want you to come
here.
here.
Yeah. And then I was like, cool. Like, I wanted to get into this. And then I had my mentor. And without my mentor of holding my hand and saying, this is how you do this, this is how you do that, I never would have started, because I wouldn't have known what the hell to do. So I want to be that for other people. One, that continue to grow the sports all along, but also like help people reach their dreams. I think that's important too, and being that little reaching hand for them. And then also more revenue, more income. And if that's making $10,000 a month, I could put more into the show or whatever. Then awesome. So yeah,
I think it's also keen to point out that you have like the widest net of any promoter I've seen, where you're doing like point sparring tournaments to like help people get into the sport
Yep.
and not necessarily take in that a lot of that damage, right? Like
Yeah.
it's a very friendly way to get into the sport.
And it's really funny because when we first started doing the IKF started doing the point stuff, all these other organizations were talking shit about it. Well, guess what? They all have them now.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, they've
They were
all
like
copied
talking
it.
shit about like a
Oh yeah,
semi-contact.
yeah. And now like they're doing. It's so funny. They're doing it like, well, we don't announce a winner, and so we don't count it on people's record. But since you guys announce a winner on our organization, we'll count it as an actual fight. I'm like, you guys are crazy, because they actually consider a point tournament a
An
real
actual fight?
So there's some kids that might have 10-point tournaments, which are very different than a real fight. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
very, very different. And then if you go to TBA's, that tournament in Iowa, they count it as a real fight. So you're going to get someone hurt that has 10-point tournaments versus someone that has 10 real fights. That's a very different animal. And that's what we were trying to tell them. Like, you guys are open.
So these guys were going into fighting saying that they had a record based on like their legacy and
so it happened
fighting.
to a couple of kids at the Wolves Den.
Wild.
They were really good fighters, but they were putting them in B class, which is anywhere from, I think it's like it's over like 10 fights. Like, that's a tough class. And they did well. They did okay, but like they didn't win because they're not fighting what they should have. They should have been fighting in novice division C class. But someone's going to get really hurt by that. But like, they're all creating their own little thing and then copying us and then they're naming them scrimmages now. But I just remember when we were first doing it, they were talking all a bunch of shit about it. But it's great. I love it. We need more of it because it's going to grow the sport. I just think we need to all get on the same page.
It also allows for people to compete in an avenue. Here's the thing, dude. Some people don't want to fight. Like, they'll walk into a gym and they never want to step in the quote unquote ring, right?
Yeah.
And you're providing them almost like every possible, it's like a shoe store. Like, you have every kind of like slice for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want to go in here, train and just work out, lose weight, we have that for you. If you want to maybe dabble in this, see if you like it, we have the point fighting tournament where we're not trying to knock you out. We're just kind of like sticking to the technique of it. Cool. If you like that and maybe you want to actually like step in the ring, well, we have, say, in a fight series where we can do shows and you can fight other amateurs. And if you step up, we even have the pro portion of that. And if you continue that, now we have FairTex where we're trying to take you guys to 1FC and see how far you can go and get you sponsors and get you paid and all these other things. Like, you're doing the whole fucking spectrum right there.
Yeah.
From start to possibly finish. You know what I mean? That's wild. I don't know. Literally no other promotion is doing that.
No. Yeah, especially the same day. Like
I know of. A
lot of the IKF ones do, but like none of the other ones are doing like a point tournament during the day and then fights at night, which I don't know why they do them separate days, but it just makes sense to do it all in one go. And but yeah, so like a big thing, like they were saying, some of these people were like, oh well, this person has 6-point tournaments and this person has none, and they fight. That's not fair. I'm like, well, I didn't tell your person not to do a point tournament. Why aren't they doing them? Like, if they want to fight full contact, like, do them then. Like, that's kind of like the avenue you're kind of having to go through now. Why aren't you
But
doing
they're also
that?
not mutually exclusive. You can do both.
Yeah.
You can have an amateur fight and do a point tournament.
Yeah. But I wouldn't put someone with
unless you tell me-
6-point tournaments versus like Max Reed, who's on his 7th fight next. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, to teach their own and like whatever people like. I didn't do any point tournament stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, MMA doesn't. I think MMA,
We have MMA version of it.
Well, I was gonna say,
We
like,
do.
I think they
Yeah.
do now, but like when I was coming up, it was like, okay, like, you train for a couple months, you want to fight?
I'll throw
And
you
that
in there.
was, yeah, that was a culture shock for me because that was also the first time that I put on the small gloves.
Yeah.
We never trained in small gloves because everyone was always telling me, like, you don't train in small
Yeah.
gloves, you train in the big gloves and everything. First time I put those gloves on, I was like,
my
Jesus
God.
Christ, these are small.
I am not smart.
Yeah. this ain't gonna feel good. No. Martial arts it's an interesting creature, man, because you're simultaneously like training people to become incredibly deadly with unarmed combat. And now we're also trying to keep it as safe as possible. Like, in an incredibly violent endeavor, how can we preserve this as long as possible?
Yeah, and just having technique is so important because you can be very violent like Trey Lewis, but you have to have the technique to go with it. Trey's done over 10 or 12 point tournaments.
Yeah.
Never hurt no one, never put no one down. Can he? Absolutely can. But you got to be able to control your weapons. I think that's a big part of fighting, being able to control your stuff. I remember someone before I lost my shit on someone. And they're like, I thought you're a martial artist. You're supposed to be all honor and respect. I'm like, dude, Muay Thai is literally based off of the mafia and gambling. Like,
yes, honor.
Yeah. Like, that's what makes me fire, though, is like you could turn that switch real quick. Because when you fight, you have to be able to turn that switch. And, if I have to protect something, I'm going to protect it. So,
yeah, it's interesting. Martial arts has different meanings for different people now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it means what it used to, if that makes sense. Like I don't correlate martial arts with like honor, dignity, all of these other things. I correlate martial arts with ability to separate people from consciousness or break limbs or whatever. And that has nothing to do with morality.
Yeah.
But it just so happens that the people that tend to train the most tend to be the most humble,
the
cooler people. We were talking about it. We were at a dinner, me and my wife, with some people that don't fight, like not from this world at all. And it was interesting to hear them talk about like work and all these other things. I'm like, guys, like you have no idea how unstressful any of this is. And it's I said this before, but I'll make the comment again. And I actually have a question for you to see how you feel about this. I'm glad that I did martial arts, even though to a large extent, like I've been removed from it. Like I don't, in my day job and all these things, like I don't really do anything with fighting anymore.
Do you hit the heavy bag at all?
No, I don't train at all.
Dude, if I don't hit somebody or something for like a week, oh my God, like I'll be like driving, I'm like, oh, like,
I realize that I don't care about like, I didn't get into fighting because I wanted to hurt people. In fact,
no, same. But if I don't hit something for some reason, like I feel a little on edge.
I'll be honest with you, Chad. It's kind of surprising even to me because it was such a part of my life for so long.
Yeah.
And now it was kind of like I quit cold turkey. Like I was like, okay, I'm done. And I just stopped. I have no desire to like hit a bag. I have no desire to go.
Trust me, I don't like hitting it. I don't desire it. But like if I don't, I definitely feel like a little angst.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'd be driving. Like sure, I was driving, someone cut me off, and I was like, why am I getting angry? I'm like, oh, I haven't hit nothing in a week. That's probably why.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting low T. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, you're still wrestling. Like you're still being competitive.
But I'm coaching. My competitive outlet now is like watching the kids. You know what I mean? And like watching them progress and do good, and taking a kid that like we have one kid that started with me as a freshman and is already he's going to be a returning state medalist this year. But the kid was. I mean, his freshman year, he didn't know what a takedown was.
Yeah.
And now he's fucking cold. You know what I mean? Like, that is
what... see his confidence change.
Yeah, and that's... I used to enjoy training and everything from that progressive aspect for myself. Like, I'm getting better. I'm going to do better in this fight. Now I'm realizing that the coaching... Maybe you feel the same way. Like, the coaching gives me way more than I ever got as, like, an individual. Because I have multiple kids that I'm feeling that with. So, like, I use this one kid as an example, but then there's also kids like, you know, they may have not been returning state medalists, but returning state qualifiers. Yeah. And once again, didn't know what a takedown was their freshman year. And I'm getting like, boom, 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 just hit with all this, like, dopamine from all these kids and their progress, girls, boys, you know what I mean? It feels fucking good. And then also, you know, the one thing I will say about martial arts in general, I think this is universal, is like, I think everybody should do a martial art. First of all, whether it's Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, I don't care what it is, do it because it'll teach you a lot about yourself and it'll make for a better society. You're going to start seeing a lot of people that can handle their shit a lot better because the little things won't affect you as much because, hey, man, I'm not getting hit in the face. Hey, no one's trying to rip my arm off. Like, in the grand scheme of things, this is actually a pretty tame day.
And you know you can protect yourself.
Defend,
so it gives you that kind of calmness and But I think the biggest self-defense thing is, see if you agree with me, is your ability to be aware.
Of what, your surroundings?
Surroundings, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can, I often say that, like, if a fight has to break out, you've already failed, like, at a lot of things.
There's been so many times where, like, I could feel like, okay, the mood in this room has changed, let's go. And then, like, they have it at the University of Florida when I went to school there, I left. Next day there was like a shooting there, and I'm like, see, I knew some shit was like about to go off. I
Well,
could just feel
that's
it.
premonition, brother.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
I could
Lord
feel
helping
it.
you on that one.
Yeah, I could feel it. I was like, these people seem a little sketchy. Let's go.
Yeah, I will say that I'm at that age now, and maybe it's also because I have kids. When I was younger, I was like, yeah, man, if I ever get into a fight, I can defend myself. Now I'm like, I don't know if someone's got a knife or a gun.
Exactly.
I was like,
Yep.
dude, the best thing to do is like, when you talk to law enforcement, they'll tell you this too. De-escalate. De-escalate is like the number one skill set, truly. And martial arts is great because it'll allow you the confidence to not overreact, right? But if we want to be honest, it could also possibly provide people with like this false sense of security,
Mm-hmm.
and like they think like, oh, I'll knock this guy out.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he's got a knife, or now he's
Yeah.
got a gun, and good luck bobbing and weaving that.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I realize that conflict resolution does not need to be violence. In fact, if I have to hit you to get you to do what I want, I failed at communicating. And if at the end of the day you don't want to do it,
sometimes you can't negotiate with unreasonable people.
then you
So,
walk away.
Yeah.
Then you walk away. That's what I was gonna say. Is
If
like,
you can.
well,
That's what I'm
what
saying.
am?
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I guess number one, don't put yourself in those positions.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
To your point of like, if I walk into a room and I don't feel secure or I think it's about to pop off, I'm out.
Yeah.
Irish goodbye.
Yep. There's a really cool YouTube channel I watch called Active Self Defense, and they'll kind of like break down scenarios and show like what you should have
Of like
done.
real life.
Yeah, real life stuff, and what they could have done better, things like that. So it's pretty eye opening because like you think like, and they'll take like normal people and put them in scenarios that like, oh, I shoot every day and I am so good, I'm a self defense expert, and then like they just totally fail these scenarios, and but yeah, so you just never know. It's kind of like fighting, like you kind of almost have to train that stuff too.
Yeah. A fight, being a fighter, I don't know if you'll agree with me. Being a fighter doesn't necessarily mean that like you know how to defend yourself truly. That being said,
Yeah.
you're better than the average man for sure. But like they say something like the average street fight is like sub 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Because it usually starts with a sucker punch. And I don't care how long you fought. Like if I sat there and I'm looking here and you fucking clip me, I'm probably gonna go out because I never saw it coming. You don't even have to necessarily like know how to punch that well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, too, I think to myself like, how did you get yourself? Like, goes back to my thing. It's like, how did you get yourself into a position where you're getting sucker punched? Like, just fucking walk away.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't need to be in those rooms anymore. When I was younger, I think you're just like much more ego. Like, I don't have to leave. Now I'm just like, dude, bye. I got a kid. I got a wife. I can't be out doing stupid shit.
I don't go anywhere to do anything. So.
Yeah. Well, that's also the. It scares me for my kid though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It just scares me for my kid because I mean, not even the violent aspect of it. Just the world nowadays seems so different from the world that I grew up in. Or maybe it's technology that just makes me more aware of all the things.
More aware. I think that shit always happened. It's just everything's right at your fingertips now. So
yeah, it used to be anecdotal. Now I worry about like, I hate to say it, like I do worry about school shootings. I do worry about all this other stuff.
Yeah. People are crazy.
One of the reasons we take our kid to, this is gonna sound kind of douchey, but one of the reasons we take Adriana to private school is just because of the community and how close everybody is and how nice everybody is to one another. I'm like thinking to myself, like, I don't see the cliques. I don't see the bullying. I don't see any of these things that can kind of foster some sort of these, othering of people to make them feel isolated and alone. Maybe I'm wrong. You know what I mean? But this is my observation. I'm very happy with the decision we've made for my daughter so far. The community that's opened up. I want to be careful how I say this because like I think that public education should be the best that it can be. Also, I like the fact that I can choose private. I have the option if I want to, and I recommend it to everybody. We took our kid to preschool, and it's just, dude, you will become quickly aware of like how many people live around you that are like-minded as you. Like they have children your age, similar age as me. It's been
I think that's what I'm excited about is like because right now like
how old is your boy? Your
oldest is 27 months, almost 28 months. So
getting close to 3, but not
then the other one's 6 months old, almost 7 months old. So like I don't have any friends that really have kids the same age. So besides like Trey, his son's a little bit older than Ridge, but it'll be cool to make some friends that are kind of the same scenario and. Yeah.
I hate to say it this way too, but like taking them to private school is also like a different socioeconomic.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people, a lot of the conversations that I'm having are like different in the sense of like a lot more either they've climbed a corporate ladder or entrepreneurs or something, and it's refreshing the
And
conversations. Does that
that's
make
something
sense?
I'm looking at getting into. There's a program called the Founders Club. So you have to do like over 1 million in revenue, and you can get into this club, and you just around people that are building businesses and things like that. So that's something I want to get into.
Interesting.
I just don't have the free time,
Yeah.
but yeah. But I think for especially what I'm trying to do, like networking, because it's all across the nation. They have local groups, and then like you travel and like so I think that'd be something interesting to get into and network a little bit. So
What's the goal? Like, we not what's the goal with the promotion, but like what's the goal with entrepreneurship for you? Like, do you see yourself doing it till the day you die? Do you want to retire someday? What's your goal
oh
with
no, I
like
was thinking about I was looking up selling one of the gyms just the other day. Like can I sell this and then focus more on this, and then I'm like let's open a third one. So no, I mean listen, I mean the gyms don't take much time anymore. If they keep rolling this way, yeah, I'll keep them. As long as I can, pass them to the kids if they want, or sell them later down the road. Who knows, man? Like, if you would have said 5 years ago, before I started the stand-up fight series, that I'd be doing this with FairTex, I'd be like, you're fucking crazy. So who knows what another 5 years could be?
Let me rephrase my question. Like, what would you want to do? Like, for me personally, Chad, I I don't want to retire.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to work for somebody else forever. You know what I mean? Like, definitely not that. But like, I want to be like 70 years old and still have something that I'm working on because I think work gives me purpose personally. Like, it's something that I can strive for, progress in a different aspect that's not tied to me physically. And I do like creating jobs
yeah,
and
yeah. My goal is just to be financially set where I don't have to work and I'm doing it because I want to.
yeah.
But ideally, like if we want to move to Thailand and my kids train full time, like we can go do that. Like that to me would be,
You want them to be fighters?
I mean, of course, why not? But and they don't want to be like my son. I can slow pitch to him, soft toss, and he hits the ball like far. So if he decides to
Play
be a pro
baseball.
baseball player or something like that, he's definitely gonna be an athlete. This kid is unreal. Like it's pretty crazy.
What
Like
does your wife want?
she just, yeah, I think the baseball for sure. She's like, what if he doesn't want to do Muay Thai? I'm like, why would you even say that? Like,
How is that even an
I mean,
option?
he already says OA, so I mean, he's done. Yeah,
That's half of it right there.
yeah.
I took my daughter to jiu-jitsu the other day, like starting her in jiu-jitsu. By the way, I think that to my comment about like martial arts, I times that by two for women,
Yeah.
first of all. And dude, I almost cried. Like we're there, like they're in like their
Cute.
little gis and
Yeah.
all this other shit. But I was never a big gi jiu-jitsu guy, but like to see it,
See
I was,
her, yeah.
Bruna, meanwhile, was just like, oh, this is so cute. And then she's looking over at me and I'm like, oh my God, it's coming full circle. Yeah, no, I don't want her to be a fighter though. I don't. It's not it has nothing to do with like her being a girl or anything like that. It's just more like if she decided to do it, I would support it and all that stuff. But I don't know.
I won't have him fight until he's like 13, 14 for sure. I'm not gonna have him fight like at age 6 or 7 or anything like that. So he'll play the traditional sports, and I'm not gonna push it on him. He's gonna want to train because he wants to train, and but yeah, he's gonna be a little monster for sure.
Yeah, I hope she wants to do wrestling. But
Yeah.
I don't. I'm being weird about this, right? Because like I fought, and like I don't want her to fight. I think if I had a boy, I hate
She's
to
gonna
sound
fight.
sexist.
If you don't want her to fight, she's gonna
Yeah,
fight,
yeah,
for
she'll do
sure.
everything I don't. No, but I think if I had a boy, I'd probably be like molding him in my image, and he'll be the next world champion. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm sexist. I just don't know it. Um, dude, before we put a cap to this, first of all, thank you again for coming back. I'm
Appreciate
super
it.
excited for everything that you got cooking and everything you're working on. Anything you want to close out with or bring to attention? Obviously, the card in October, and we'll put on the description of this episode the URL to buy tickets. So if you haven't already, please do. Like myself.
Yeah. No, man, I think we covered it all quite a bit. Everything I wanted to talk about, and really the biggest thing is I hope people watch this and maybe someone struggling like I was when I was 31, 32, or even you're younger, 22, and want to start something, and realize not everything has to be perfect and laid out to start. Sometimes you just got to start and go for your dreams, and you never know what's going to happen. So,
God bless.
yeah.
And congratulations on figuring it out, brother.
Well, I don't know if I figured it out, but yeah.
Figuring
I'm doing
it
something,
out.
man. I don't know what I'm doing. Somehow I'm here. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Life's weird.
Chad,
Appreciate you, brother.
dude, appreciate you.